Every day we make use of our cell phones, drawing cash via the ATM, watching TV by satellite, or surfing the net. None of this would be possible without the investments made in space science. And that's exactly what we're exploring today. We're catching up with the guys from the South African National Space Agency to find out why folks like us need to know people like them. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. The South African National Space Agency, or SANSA, is responsible for the promotion and development of aeronautics and aerospace research. SANSA's Space Operations Center is stationed in Hartbeespoort. Here, they offer services to the African and international space science industries, including space mission support, satellite operations and tracking, as well as launch support in orbit testing, mission control and space navigation. On the other hand, SANSA's Earth observation efforts support South African policymaking and development initiatives. They observe South Africa from space to aid government in resource management, disaster management, food security, infrastructure development, and many other planning functions. I'm with Gladys Magagula, who is the project manager at SANSA. Take me back to where this all began.
This began many months ago.
Excuse the pun.
I was doing my BSc Computer Science undergraduate at the University of the North, now University of Limpopo. Towards the end of the year, actually, I was not sure even where am I going next year, where am I going to work, am I ready or not, I don't know. So then there was a scholarship that was run by the then Department of Communications. The Director General, Mr. Anil Ngaba, had started an institute where basically his dream was to take scientists from the so-called previously disadvantaged institutions and turn them into engineers. So then I applied, got accepted, and went and started my postgraduate diploma in engineering at Stellenbosch University. And then I did my master's afterwards, and today I'm here.
You hold quite a heavyweight title, so to speak, as South Africa's first female mission controller. Tell me more.
It started when South Africa decided to build their own government-owned spacecraft, a microsatellite called Subandla-Sat. I was then invited by my former lecturer, who was now a director at a company called SunSpace then, that was responsible for building the satellite. I then formed part of an internship by the Department of Science and Technology. Basically, I joined the company at the time when they were testing the satellite. And after the internship, I then joined the company permanently, and I worked on as part of their software team. Basically, I tested most of the software that runs on board the satellite, and also was part of the group that built the so-called mission control system, basically the software that we use on the ground to control and communicate with the satellite up in space.
As a female in space, I really salute that. What makes you look forward to your job every single day?
First, with Subandla, it was like South African satellite, built by South Africans for South Africans in South Africa, for that matter. So to me, being part of that was quite exciting, because previously I never knew about space in South Africa. I never dreamt of being able to control something that I can't even see with my naked eye. Normally a computer will be in front of you, but a satellite that's up in space that you wouldn't even see a cable running all the way up. So basically that was very fascinating for me. And to be part of SANSA, basically I call myself a co-founder, because I was part of this previously Satellite Application Center under CSIR, which then SANSA was formed while I was already there. So I call myself a co-founder for SANSA.
Do you believe that there's intelligent life out there, seeing as though you said there are some things we can't see with the naked eye?
In as much as I'm not a skeptic, but until I see one, I won't believe it.
Well, here's to believing it when we see it.
So at Space Operations, we operate a ground station. We've got a number of large antennas that can move around, and we provide services to the international community on a commercial basis.
Well, I'm with Eugene Avenant, who is the Chief Engineer at SANSA. Thank you so much for spending time with Edge today. Now, I want to know, when working with satellites, how exactly do you communicate between here and there?
Okay, so we at SANSA Space Operations operate a ground station with a number of large movable antenna dishes. So for each satellite we have a different set of frequencies that we communicate with them. So we uplink in one set of frequencies, and then the downlink back from the spacecraft to us is in a different frequency.
Aha. So what exactly is SA's position in terms of space science in Africa?
Okay, so SANSA operates in different domains of space science. So we have a space science directorate specifically that deals with especially stuff like space weather and the interaction of the sun and the Earth. So they're a more research-oriented unit. My own unit, Space Operations, we're more dealing with tracking on a commercial basis spacecraft for commercial entities as well as public bodies all over the world, places like NASA, ESA, other agencies across the world. And then we also host equipment for other agencies and other commercial entities. So we operate mostly on a commercial basis. And one of our large pieces of work that we do is we download Earth observation imagery, which our next unit, then the Earth observation unit, then processes and applies to solving issues on the ground. In terms of Africa, we're pretty much a leader. There's about 3 or 4 countries that take an active part in space in Africa. We are in a consortium called the African Resource Monitoring Constellation, which will be operating a constellation of spacecraft specifically dedicated to monitoring resources in Africa. So it's dealing with stuff like food security and planning and spatial planning.
Now, speaking of keeping ears and eyes on the ground and Earth observation, we also heard that you were involved in combating weeds. Tell us more.
Okay, so that is when we use Earth observation imagery. What you do is you get the spectral signature of the different plants growing on the ground. And then by doing some clever algorithms, you can identify then the weeds in this case. And then using Earth observation imagery, you get a large coverage and you can identify complete areas of weeds in one go. And you don't have to literally have feet on the ground looking for the weeds everywhere.
Eugene, tell me a little bit more about solar power being beamed from space.
Yeah, that's an idea that's been thrown around for some time now. As we know, the problem with solar power, it's just not available at night. So one of the ideas is to put really large reflectors in space, basically being in the sunshine all the time and then beaming solar energy down to Earth from space during the nighttime for the places in operations. Of course, there's some issues around that. It's a logistical nightmare. You've got a really large object that you need to keep in orbit. Then I really wouldn't want to be the one flying through the beam being beamed down from space. So there's a bunch of logistical and safety issues around it, but in principle it's a doable thing. So it's about keeping the sunshine going at night. I wouldn't really want to be the guy living next door to it because I'll have 24 hours of day and it's not really what we do. It's night is
You'd be melting all day long.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be good for my makeup, no.
Yeah.
What excites you about science and space science?
Yeah, I think we're in an age where we can see the globe as a single thing. All these divisions and countries and all of that, it's just not apparent from space. It's a great place to the near-Earth environment to look back to the ground and learn things about our Earth and as a full system, as a global system, and the way everything interacts with each other. So that remains exciting to me. And then, of course, there's space exploration, where we go out and go find out what's out there.
Now, when you say going to find things out there, my next question to you is, do you think that there is intelligent life out there?
I think NASA has been in the news quite recently with their chief scientist making claims about discovering life in the next 10 to 20 years. And I'm very much on par, in agreement with that sort of argument. So if we just look at the amount of extrasolar planets we've discovered in the last few years, and just a small region of space, if you just expand that argument about how many extrasolar planets there would be, and then we're getting more and more better ideas about what it requires for life to almost sporadically start. So that looks almost like a dead certainty now that we're going to be finding those sort of conditions. Whether we're going to get in contact with them is a completely different story again.
Thank you, Eugene. I'm certainly spaced out and quite intrigued. Power to the people and, well, to the aliens out there. Who knows? Well, next up, a review from our Hypertext Geeks.